What is up, everybody? Thank you for joining us. Welcome to High on Homegrown. I am Mackie from Percy'sGrowroom.com. Most of you probably already know that. And joining me tonight with the panel, we got Zombie Nation. Say hi, Zombie.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the show.
Zia, GB.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? Good show tonight, so make sure you listen to the end.
And TG.
Yeah, what's going on? Greetings from sunny Saskatchewan.
And then we got Monkey Do.
Hey, how's it going, guys? I'm Monkey. From deep south, US.
So, no doubt you've all heard that our guest this evening will be Tommy Chong. And it's absolutely awesome interview. Really good, man. Guy cracks me up. I'm sure everybody is a huge fan of Tommy Chong. So I just want to say this is our fourth episode as well, and we've had an awesome response from everybody who's listened. You know, lots of good feedback. We appreciate it. We want to just thank everybody who takes the time to come and tune in and listen to the show every week. And we're going to continue to improve. You offer us suggestions and let us know what we can do to make the show better, and we'll happily fix things up and improve the show as we move forward. So, yeah, man. So, shall we just move on straight away? We should move on to this week's news. Here we go. And then I realised I didn't unmute the panel through the intro there. Brilliant.
Hey.
Everybody say hi again. Say hi again, everybody.
Hey guys, how's it
Hi,
going?
everyone.
Monkey,
What up?
ZN, GB.
How's it going?
TG, it'll be all right in the downloaded recording. These things happen when we go live, right? Sweet.
It does indeed.
Right, so
Yeah,
news and
have to
events. What have
re-listen
we got
again.
this week, man? What have we got? We've got who wants to go first? Should we go TG?
Yeah, man. I was just doing some reading, and I guess Major League Soccer or football, I guess for you European guys, the major league in America and Canada is looking to approve CBD as a potential commercial opportunity for the teams as a sponsorship thing. So that's pretty cool. In that, I guess obviously a very major entity is kind of getting on board with the CBD thing. Not that it's not common, obviously, that we've all heard CBD is in everything nowadays, but the major leagues are usually a lot more conservative. So yeah, it's pretty cool that they're actually getting into this like seriously, and yeah, pretty cool.
I wonder if they're going to be doing like performance enhancing drug testing. They're just going to allow that completely medicinally.
Yeah, well, they say that it's not like performance enhancing, I guess the way they describe it. So in a sense that it doesn't help you do better. It's no different than taking like, you know, your massage and stuff as a treatment for the fatigue and stuff that you get from playing the sports in such a high caliber. So I mean, yeah, I think it's a good step forward that they're at least kind of looking into accepting this kind of thing as a legitimate.
But to be fair, you know,
more-
THC isn't a performance enhancing drug either. You know.
No, I 100% agree. But I mean,
So
yeah.
they're using it more like a recovery aid?
Well, I guess that's what the athletes how they would be using it. Yeah.
Okay, yeah,
This is
okay.
more just
Cool.
as a sponsorship opportunity. I think probably because the league is hurting, you know, like they all are because of COVID and other stuff. So they're looking at other.
Yeah.
There's money in it,
Potential
and they'll
opportunities.
make that step. You know, that's how it goes, man.
Absolutely. Yeah.
ZN, what you saying, man?
Yeah.
What you got?
Well, I've got a bit of a white paper being drawn up at the moment because of the current legislation on UK medicinal cannabis. So there's been a big white paper drawn up to educate the healthcare workers in this country on the effects of prescribing cannabis and what can happen to patients and what the benefits are. Apparently, there's only 400 private prescriptions been given out since it was regulated and made a thing in 2018. So obviously everybody's up in arms, but this hopes to accelerate integration into the UK with the healthcare. So it's looking good, actually.
Yeah, man. I thought when you was explaining that, you were going to say the detrimental effects of prescribing cannabis. You know, Because they never
No,
say good shit about weed over here.
this is a real one though. They don't mention detrimental effects because I don't think they've found any yet.
Mm. So what we got next? GB, you want to go next?
Yeah, I have one for the ladies.
Oh boy.
It's quite an interesting one. It's something that if all women will have problems with it. It's to do with the menstrual cycle. It is new CBD infused tampons that have been released by a company called Day. I have to say
Okay.
and it sounds quite interesting. Um,
Yeah, man.
where are we? Yeah. It's the way it works is the CBD is absorbed into the vaginal walls and things, and it's whatever way it infuses in and it attacks the whole pelvic area.
Okay.
Now it's good things for women and it's good things for men too because it's a touchy time, lads. We all know that.
Oh yes. Oh
Things,
yes.
but it is an extra good thing for the ladies. So there it is, DAYE, ladies. So have a look at that, and if not, guys, tell your women about it.
Nice,
Yeah,
man.
interesting stuff,
Yeah.
man. Cool.
We'd have to
Cool,
get
cool.
a lady's opinion and see what they think
Yeah,
about such
here's
products.
See what
here's
Because
they
here's
we don't know
infused
much about
everything,
being blokes, but it sounds good. But is it really? You know,
Yeah. The only
I'd
thing
like
I
to
know
hear
I
some
about
don't
it
know.
feedback.
when
At
when
least some
sent to the
feedback
store
in
to
the
buy it.
comments, man. You know,
Mhm.
yeah.
probably some nice
If
feedback.
anybody's
to
got
listen
input
to.
on that, that would be super interesting.
Yeah.
And then we've got Monkey. What news have you got for us today, man?
Well, I was looking through the news and I found something that was interesting. And this is in Kansas, in Shepherd Ferry's 66-acre farm.
So
They
if you're watching there on YouTube now, you can see that
Yeah,
on the
if you look
video
on the
when Monkey
splash screen,
speaks.
I got it up there right now where my picture usually shows up now. But a 76-acre mural was mowed into a wheat field in Kansas, and it's a trust the earth. Hemp is all natural mural to advertise the natural nature of hemp and try and shepherd that industry forward in Kansas a little bit. But it's
Whoa.
so huge
That
that
is
you have
awesome.
to be in an airplane to actually see it. They say drones were not able to get high enough to actually see the scope of it. They actually had to borrow a farmer's airplane to get high enough
God
to see this
damn.
thing.
How do
It was
people
That's
do that
sponsored.
shit?
unreal.
It's crazy. Look how beautiful that is, man.
It's crazy
Mm.
the detail. It took a farmer with a GPS on a lawnmower an entire week to mow this thing into the field. It's
I bet he
something you
smoked
really need
loads
to
of weed
see.
while he was doing it.
He probably was, but I mean, Charlotte's Web is a CBD company. But hey, you never know. Smoke enough of that, and you can get enough of THC to maybe get a good buzz. You never really know.
Wow,
But
they've
it's
done.
pretty cool stuff, man. I thought that was really neat. Sometimes when you just need to step back and take a look, and I
Yeah,
love the message of this one.
Yeah, it's
sure.
beautiful, man.
Yeah,
Nice
they've
one,
done a
Monkey.
lot
That
of
was great.
research on this CBD stuff recently, and there's a lot of products that actually contain THC as well. So
Absolutely. That's one of the things I was going to mention too. I mean, CBD is all great, but you gotta make sure you're getting it from a legitimate source.
yeah,
Yeah.
Don't go to the grocery or the gas station. Get it there. Probably not
100%
what you
agree,
want.
man.
there's a
100%
pretty much
agree.
guarantee it's not going to contain anything at all.
Absolutely. There's a lot of snake oil, so yeah, due diligence. But like anything else.
So we got some
Yeah,
forum news as well there. Noob, I think he's in the chat there. Noob PT. He went and won the heads or tails competition. Well done to him.
That is
He's
true.
got a nice package
Nice.
from Royal Queen seeds going to him.
Yeah.
We've
Lucky
added
guy.
a new page as well to make it easier to add new threads to the forum. All you have to do is click the tab on the side and you can add a thread to any section of the forum. Just select it and post the thread. Nice and easy. It's just a few clicks and you can ask a question or update your diary and things. That's pretty sweet.
Quite a handy function, actually.
Yeah, man. It's a nice new one. I like that.
Yeah.
And there's always more updates to come. You know how it goes at Percy's, man. So let's move on
Oh, yeah.
to
Never change.
Really?
the famous stoner of the week. GB, this is all you, man. What are you saying?
Now, this week, folks, we're going to talk about one of the greats of all time in astrology, cosmology, astrophysics, and biology. And he was a science communicator to the stars. Oh, well, to space, sorry. And he was a stoner as well. That is this week, guys, we are going to talk about Carl Sagan.
Oh,
Legend.
Mr.
Yeah.
Gold Record himself.
Excellent
Yeah.
choice.
Carl is unbelievable, and there is just not enough time to go through him, really.
Yeah, for sure. There's so much to say
not-
about him.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's huge. So I'll give you just a brief background about him. Sagan, he was born in 1934 in Brooklyn. So he was a New Yorker. He was born to a Russian immigrant called Sam Sagan. And that's now, it would be now Ukraine. And a local New York girl called Rachel Molly Gruber. He was always inquisitive and very inquisitive. And at the tender age of 5, when he couldn't get a straight answer from his friends or any of his family, he decided he'd go to the library to find out what the stars were actually in the sky. 5 years of age, lads. So
Yeah,
that tells you straight away like what he was. And it was then that he realized that the universe was exponentially bigger than everything else in the world.
Mhm.
So he decided that that's what he was going to dedicate his life to, the science and to space.
Yeah, I love Sagan, man. And you could always tell he was a stoner because he's just so calm all the time. So laid
Yeah.
back and the way he explained things, you could just tell he had that stoner vibe to him.
But it's you look at all the greats when it comes into the fields, like the likes of Einstein. Einstein was a stoner.
Really?
Yeah, well, from what I have gathered, he was.
And look at his hair,
Good
man.
weed.
He
Look
looks
at his
like
hair.
stoner
I'm
hair.
that's what I'm saying, really.
I'm sure that's
Exactly where I was
weed.
going with that.
You know?
Exactly.
Yeah,
Oh, man, that's funny.
No, that's great though. Yeah.
yeah.
You know how many joints Sagan smoked, right? Of course. Come on, somebody do it.
Billions.
Billions
And
and
Billions and
billions.
billions and billions.
Oh. But yeah, no, we'll go back to him. So Sagan is most notably known for his works Cosmos.
Sweet,
Contact.
there he is. If anybody don't know Carl Sagan, he's on the YouTube video right now.
There he
This
is. Yeah,
guy
you'll
is
see him up
an
on the
absolute
splash.
legend, man. It's proper stoner shit. When you get involved with the space stuff, you want to learn stuff about space and that stoner phase, man.
Oh yeah.
That's where you want to go. Carl Sagan. Watch all of Cosmos by Carl Sagan. It's just brilliant. Yeah.
Watch it stoned as well. It makes it even better.
Of course. What you don't, you got to watch everything stoned, man.
Yeah. And we have Mackie's, one of Mackie's favorite, the blue dot.
The pale blue dot, indeed, man.
The pale blue
Oh,
dot.
that was a beautiful image. Yeah.
Yeah.
And a
That
That was
beautiful
taken
speech.
from the Voyager.
book.
If you
Yeah.
haven't heard it already, go and check out Pale Blue Dot, the speech by Carl Sagan, and it's just a beautiful piece of poetry. It's one of them things that'll last forever in human civilization.
Mm-hmm.
It's beautiful, man. Check it out, but not yet.
Yeah.
Wait until the show's
Not
out
yet,
first.
obviously.
Really.
It's a book too, eh? He published a book called Pale Blue Dot.
Yeah.
He did indeed.
Yeah.
And it wasn't. It was. We'll go. It wasn't. But it was in 1971 with a book that I'd say a lot of people has read. Marijuana Reconsidered by Dr. Lester Greenspoon.
Oh yeah.
And there was an article written in that, and it was written by a Mr. X.
Ah.
And yes, it was Mr. X was Carl Sagan.
Awesome.
It was released. It was discovered after he passed away. And it was released, and he wrote it under Mr. X because he didn't want people obviously in the real world, but people in his academia and his colleagues, he didn't want them to cloud his judgment and people to look at him in a different light, because unfortunately, as we all know, we are all shunned in our own ways.
True.
Mm-hmm.
So he was a toker of the herb, and that explains a lot.
Indeed.
Yeah, explains, because he explains himself that while he smoked cannabis, he was able to recall memories and smells and emotions and everything from the past as far back as his childhood.
I've had that experience, man. That is really, that's awesome when that happens, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know. It's never happened to me personally.
Really?
Yeah. No, I have a shit memory.
Yeah. No, I mean, I've smoked weed with my wife before and just sat back and remembered, like, clear as a day, something that happened when I was 10 years old with a neighborhood with kid. It's just this memory that just comes back in such clarity, where you can hear the sounds and you can see the colors and everything comes back. And it's something with the cannabis that can free that. It's awesome.
Well, there's so much that's unknown about it. Like our brains, we only use 10% of it.
That's a myth. That is, GB. You don't use
I
10%.
think
Is
that's
it?
a myth as well. I'm using way more than 10% of my brain.
No, we
Ah,
usually
fuck, I
well,
was
the
to
zombies
say,
probably,
years
yeah,
range
the
of
zombies
time.
probably up to what, 15 by now, right?
Yeah, we use 100%. We just don't use it very well. Most of the
That's a
time.
fact,
Yeah.
yes.
yeah, but yeah. So that, but yeah, that's pretty much kind of everything on it. We will go into Dr. Lester Greenspoon again because he's an amazing fella in his own right.
Oh,
He
absolutely.
has a very good strain. I think you can only really get it over in Amsterdam, and I think it's a lemon green spoon or something. I can't think of the name of the strain off the top of my head.
That's Barney's. That's Dr. Grinspoon. That's a very unique strain. I highly recommend everybody Google it and just have a look at
Very
it.
long strain to grow, isn't it?
Yeah. 16-week flower time, they say.
Yeah.
Whoa,
So, I mean, more
that's
than
nearly
most
as
people
bad as
grow.
Yakapello.
Yeah.
Right then, lads. Right, with that,
Anyway.
we should move on to the grow guide section.
Good idea.
Yeah, man. So we've covered quite a bit so far. We've covered the equipment and lighting and medium, right? And different types of cannabis seeds. That's another one. So I thought this episode would be just right to discuss how we germinate cannabis seeds ourselves. You know,
Right.
what techniques we individually use, because there's different ways to do it, and most of them work. You know, you don't necessarily have to
Yeah.
use a paper towel. You don't have to just plant it. Yeah, anything works as long as you keep it wet. So I thought to discuss the different ways we do it, give some people an insight about which techniques might work best for them. You know. So,
Sure.
Monkey, you want to take this one first, man?
Sure. I mean, we had a lot of this question on the forum, and new growers are constantly wanting to know how to do it better. And a lot of people have a lot of trouble with it, it seems like, but I keep it as simple as possible. And I grow cannabis seeds the same way I've grown any flower for the last several decades. And it's just, I plant it shallowly in the media, about 2 to 3 times the thickness of the seed down, moisten the media, keep it gently moist, put it in a, moderately lit place, and I just wait a day, 2 days, 3 days, and I get a plant. Keep it as simple as possible, and don't overthink it, and don't freak out, and just be patient. And about 95% of the time, I'm successful.
So you're a cocoa grower as well, right?
I am a cocoa grower. Now, if I'm going to start it straight into the cocoa, I found that if I take a Jiffy pellet and if I put the Jiffy pellet in the cocoa and put the seed in the Jiffy pellet, because the Jiffy pellet isn't cocoa, it's more peat. The plant doesn't, the roots seem to do a little bit better with that.
Right.
So it's kind of like, give it a little boost there in the middle. It has a very neutral cocoa area without any nutrients that the roots can develop and do what they have to do. And then they'll move into the nutrient rich, well, I'm not really nutrient rich, but mild nutrients that I put into the cocoa. And then from there, I'll grow that out to like a solo cup size, and then I'll start moving up pot sizes from there. But I mean, I have done the paper towel method that everybody's familiar with, and that's where you soak your seeds for 24 hours, and then you put it in paper towel and keep the paper towel damp. And within 24, 48 hours, you usually start seeing a taproot, and it works just fine too. I mean, I guess easiest thing I could say, Mackie, is keep it simple.
Keep it simple. Yeah, it's the best way to do all of it.
Yeah.
TG, you
I
growing
do it different. Oh.
Yeah, sorry,
How do
you
you
go
do?
for it, GB. Let's see what yours is, man.
Yeah, I just use the simple. I use easy plugs. It's part of the Easy Cube system. They're so handy. I have a YouTube video up on it. I literally I soak my seeds for 8 hours, and then when I take them out, I put them into it's a pH, obviously. And then I do the same with these little cubes. You just sit them down into water. It fills up and it holds the exact amount that it needs. It doesn't. You can't overfeed it. It's quite like cocoa. And literally just plop the seed in, push it down, and leave it be, and away she comes.
Yeah.
And then I just take that and I just plop that then down into, and I always start in the final pot.
Is that because you just do autos?
No, it's just
what he does.
Well, yeah, I do normally just do autos. I had to transfer the last one was a photo, and she's after growing into a beast. Oh, an absolute beast out there. But
So what about you,
I normally
TG?
do just that.
Is TG's a soil grower?
Yeah, well, I pretty much agree. Well, the way Monkey does it, like putting them right into soil, I have no problem with that. Um, the only reason I like to use the paper towel method is on the off chance that your seeds are bad, you don't sit there kind of waiting potentially. And obviously, if you put it right in the soil, you don't want to disturb it. So I mean, if they're in the paper towel, you can see a lot easier if the seeds are no good or if they're not popping or what have you. But yeah, the way I go is just soak it for about 12, 14 hours into the paper towel, and like they said, within 48 hours, usually you'll see tap roots. And there's a good video on our YouTube channel about planting that seed with the exposed taproot into the soil. So
that's your video, man. It's on like 35K views now.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Smashes it.
Yeah, pretty basic.
But yeah, no,
That's
it's
a great video.
It's a short little, super easy intro to how I do it anyway. You make a little slit in the soil so you don't bust the taproot, obviously, with your tweezers, and then you just slide it in, kind of pack the soil around it, and water basically. Yeah, I know Spartan said moisten the media first, because if you water the plant, you can kind of jostle the seed around. That's actually a good idea. And yeah, most of the time, unless I forget, I guess my media is always moist enough to kind of hold the seed once I put it in there. And one thing I should say too is I also inoculate with mycorrhizal fungi right when I plant the seed, because they say you're supposed to get that stuff right on the root as soon as possible. So then the symbiotic relationships can start to form immediately if that's the kind of thing that you're into. So yeah, I'll also sprinkle just a little bit of fungi powder down into the planting hole and then stick my seed in there. But
so a particular brand you use there for that fungi powder?
Yeah, it's
fungi. We call it over here in the UK.
It's
I
can't remember the brand name. Hold on a sec. I'll pull it up and then I'll get back to you on that. But
cool.
It's great stuff. It's got like 16 or 18 different strains. The two strains you want in your mycorrhizal fungi are Glomus intraradices and Glomus mossiae.
Calm down now, TG. Calm down.
Sorry. But yeah, this is all on the forums. There's a good thread about this with pictures and all that kind of stuff. So those are the ones that have the affinity to cannabis. So says Jorge Cervantes and Jeff Lowenfels in their books. So if you do use mycorrhizal fungi, make sure you get those two strains and come to the forums, because there's a big info thing about them there. But yeah, pretty easy. Stick it in the soil, wait, and like Monkey said, within a couple of days you get a plant.
Yeah,
nice, man. Zian, what do you do?
Well, I'm kind of like mostly with TG. I've got an old chocolate box, a plastic chocolate box. I fold it in a damp paper towel, put it in the box, seal the box up, and put it in a black bag and just leave it on a power supply. It's usually on top of my PC, so it just stays there for 24 hours, and I end up with like 10 mil tap roots 99% of the time. Again, I like the taproot. I like to see the taproots there before I plant it, so I know I'm not wasting my time, because I've had a few duff ones in my time. Out of that, straight into I'm 50-50 on whether I put into a starter pot or whether I put into its like final pot. It kind of depends on what I'm doing at the time, but I sprinkle a bit of great white in a finger-sized hole and just pop the taproot down into the hole, gently cover it up, and like I say, 99% of the time, I'm ready and going.
Yeah, you see, I think this is I just drop my seeds in water for about 6-8 hours, and not even too long, maybe not even as long as that, and then I'll put them straight in the cocoa with a plastic cup over the top and leave them for a few days, and they'll be sweet, man. I don't do any of that messing around in between. It's like I think the paper towel method was used in the days when seeds weren't reliable. You'd just get some dodgy seeds from the black market, but now you buy the good shit online. Yeah. They're pretty much guaranteed to germinate. It's very rare that they don't, as long as the conditions are good. So I like to just random, because you might break that taproot. You might dry out the paper towels. That's happened to me when I was doing paper towel method. Forgot about it, dried out, seeds died. So it's easier for me to just drop them straight into the medium, and it works every time, man. Small pot, I don't know, like half a litre in size, plastic cup over the top, and you'll be sweet.
Yeah, I do it pretty much similar to Mackie, but I just stick it into the Easy Cube.
Mm.
Yeah, I think a
Yeah,
lot of new growers
Mhm.
want to go ahead and use the paper towel method because they like to see that seed. They want, otherwise a lot of new growers would be like TG said, digging down, trying to see if it's growing yet.
Oh, I still
and-
do that, mate. I know.
Really?
If I don't see a shoot in 3 days, I'm like, where the fuck are you? What are you taking
Yeah,
so long
I,
for? They should have got 3 ounce
Hello?
off you by now. What are you-
Really?
I doubt.
Really?
yeah,
No,
I don't do the
I'm
paper
patient.
towel. I've fucked it up just too many times,
Mhm.
and they've rotted. I don't know whether I'm just wetting the paper too much
But
or
if
not.
you
That's
just
why.
water
keep it
usually.
simple, man, keep as nature intended, and it's less likely that
Yeah.
something will go wrong. You know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, that's why I do it my way. It's just
Straight
as
into the
quick and
medium,
easy.
man. It really does work. Just remember to water it like anything else. So
Mhm.
Yeah.
yep.
The trick is if you're planting straight into cocoa on a seed, you have to know how to water that. You can't overwater a seed in cocoa, and it can drown the seed, and it can get bad. So just have to be a little bit kind, a little bit gentle.
That's it. And you want to try and encourage the roots to grow as well. As long as you trap the
Right.
humidity in over the top and the medium's wet when the seed's planted, there'll be plenty there. It just needs time.
Mhm.
Just wait a few days.
Yeah.
But there's so many different ways to germinate the seed. As long as it fucking pops, it doesn't matter how you've done it.
Yeah.
It
Just
should be easy and
A
stress
little bit of
free.
moisture, a
Mhm.
little bit of heat. That's all
Exactly.
you need.
There's a good
Yeah,
video
and
on how to
time.
germinate cannabis seeds on our YouTube channel, which has got like
Mhm.
110,000 views now. So
Yeah.
it's one of our best videos. If you're looking to find out good ways to germinate, then check that out as well. So,
Yeah. Most valuable ingredient, patience.
indeed,
Yeah,
if you haven't got
Yeah.
patience, you
Like,
better learn it
Yeah.
because that's the most important
You,
thing you'll learn about
I think
growing.
that's like the golden rule of growing, I think.
absolutely, man. Absolutely.
Well, with that,
100%.
if you're looking for what strain you want to germinate, why don't you check out this strain of the week?
Yeah.
Right. Tell us what it is.
Oh boy, this one's going to be for me. Hey, in honor of Tommy Chong, I had to go back and I really had to dig back into some of his old work and let's talk a little bit about Acapulco Gold. This is an old time strain that was, I think it was coined into existence or mentioned somewhere back in the mid 60s. And, was very popular in the West Coast and in the Southern U.S. through the 70s and into 80s. But that strain of Acapulco Gold that they're talking about in those things are not exactly what we have today. A lot of that stuff was landrace Mexican sativa. And boy, do I remember that when I was growing up. We smoked so much of that stuff.
Mm.
And it was called Acapulco Gold if you got the good stuff. I mean, the other stuff was just Mexican weed, but
Here,
the good
I've got a
stuff
little
was
picture here. Look, check this
Acapulco
out.
Gold.
No stems,
What you
no
got?
seeds that you don't need. Acapulco Gold is.
How cool is that, right?
Absolutely, and that's exactly why I chose Acapulco Gold. I remember that from when I was a kid, growing up, and that came out, and we laughed so much about it. And that was so Tommy Chong. It was great,
Yeah.
fantastic stuff. But nowadays we can still grow Acapulco Gold. Problem is with the original one, you try and find Mexican landrace sativa seeds. That's pretty tough. You might be able to find some on some exchanges or some friends or something, but they're not easy to find. But Barney's Farm and some other breeders have recreated the strain, and they use some Brazilian genetics and some Mexican genetics, and they get something they call a Central American genetic, Acapulco Gold, which is suitable for tents. It grows low, it grows strong. It's about 20, 21, 22% THC. And it's very good stuff. We just recently had a member over at Percy's finish it, and the smoke report came back really good. So this is a strain that's kind of a moderate difficulty to grow. Like out of 5, they say it's like a 3. It might be a little bit finicky. So maybe not a beginner strain, but maybe let's say an intermediate grower. This might be a good one. And it can typically mature in somewhere to 8 to 10 weeks. So it's a
Not
pretty
so
good
bad,
little
man.
thing. Not bad. I would definitely give this one a shot.
Absolutely. It's on my
In
list.
fact, I've already got the seed, so just again, I got to find a spot in the tent for it again. So sitting there waiting. That doesn't do anybody any good. The seed will not grow until I put it in the ground. You know how that goes. But yeah, this is a really it's a 80-20 mix. It's a sativa dominant strain. It's uplifting. At the same time, what I remember about it is it was very relaxing. We had a lot of fun. We used to laugh and giggle a lot and had a lot of energy with this strain. It didn't make you crash and just want to veg out all day. So
No,
that's what I
remember them
fondly
giggly
remember.
strains. I haven't had a giggly strain for a long time, man. Remember getting the
Laughing
giggles?
Buddha would be one I'm going to go with that recommendation.
Get lots of nice spicy notes and like kind of the sandalwood and cedar out of that Acapulco Gold too, hey, for kind of a scent profile. I've never
Yeah,
actually smoked
it
it
is.
myself, but yeah, that's
Well,
what I've read and heard at least.
Smoked so much of it back in the day, TG, that we just called it tastes like weed. You know, I can't even remember specifically anything different about it other than it just tasted like weed. And that's all I can tell you.
As long as it's good weed.
I still hunt to this day. It's one of those things that, you know, you always want to go back to your first time, and I'm always looking for that taste again. And I still haven't found it, but I've got 3 or 4 recommendations, and I'm going to find them one way or the other. It's out there. So
it's one of the fun things about growing, man. Just
so many options, man.
Right.
Yeah, definitely.
So thanks,
anyway,
Max.
guys,
Let's move on to the moment everybody has been waiting for.
I know it. We're stalling, aren't we?
Yeah, we're stalling. Let's do this.
Yeah, we've already had a moan.
More than one, yeah.
So here we are, man. For some reason, we got lucky enough to have Tommy Chong come and join us for an interview. So, we discuss some cool shit, man. He's going to have some dispensaries opening up soon. He's going to be making some new TV stuff to advertise the dispensaries. We speak about his dogs. That was pretty cool. I don't know, man. It's a good conversation, right, lads?
Yeah, it was
Absolutely.
epic.
You can't believe the man for being in his 80s. His attitude, the look in his eyes. He's so young. He's so vibrant.
Yeah, so
Such
happy,
a nice
man.
guy too.
Yeah, he's
Exactly
Tommy.
exactly like you would think
And
he is.
funny guy as well, you know. And switched on because he's like
hilarious.
80, 82, I think he is, man. And you know, for his age, he's proper switched on.
Yeah, man. He's
I'll tell
fucking
you,
with Trump people on Twitter, and it's awesome.
Yeah, I tell you,
hear.
I'm as fucking with it when I'm his
Yeah,
age.
for sure, man. It's just a good sign, isn't it? Cheech and Chong still both doing well in their old age, and they smoke, man. You know,
And they smoke fucking epic amounts.
Cannabis will save the world. Right, so here we go. Hope you enjoyed the interview, everybody, as much as we enjoyed recording it with Tommy Chong. It was absolutely legendary. Enjoy.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah,
Welcome to
you
High
see
on
me?
Homegrown, sir. Yeah, we can. Can you hear us?
I can hear you. I can't see you though.
Sweet. Yeah. Well, it's like some of us are. We have to hide our identities still. We're at that stage.
Why? Because you're cheating on your wife. Is that it?
Because we grow this this magical herb, and we don't want anybody to find out.
Oh, right. Right. It's still illegal some places.
Yeah, I'm in the UK here. GB, he's from
right.
Ireland. And Monkey, he's in the USA in a legal state as well.
So yeah, you know, down here it's not too cool either, Tommy.
Oh wow!
And we've got Temple Grower. He's the legal grower on the panel.
Yeah, I'm up in Canada, so it's all good. I just try to fit in with the rest of the boys. So.
Okay.
See some nice guitars behind you right there.
Yeah. That's my wall of guitars. Yeah, it's my third. It's my third collection. I've had two collections stolen.
Wow.
Oh no!
What do you mean, like a home invasion or something, or while you were on tour?
Well, one time it was they were repairing my house. You know, they were working on my house, and then just when they finished, they left. They took the guitars with them.
My God,
Bastards!
It's okay. It's okay.
It's okay. Don't worry about it.
No. When I lose something, I just think, oh, I can get a new one now.
I love that.
Man, it's like we're all massive fans of you. Of course, we're all stoners, so we've been following your work for a long time. All your movies, TV shows, everything. Massive fans. It's incredible to have you on. You know.
Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
It's a huge honor, Mr. Chong, or should we call you Tommy? I really wanted to get permission to call you Tommy before.
Oh, whatever you call me, anything. Call me anything you want, man. You know.
Just don't call you late for dinner. Yeah.
No.
Well, listen, can you tell me about this new dispensary thing that you got coming up?
It's so exciting. You know, Cheech and I, we did a movie called Nice Dreams, and in it we had a ice cream parlor turned into a dispensary. You know, it was like the first one. And so we've been kind of planning this for many years, since the 70s. And now it's come to fruition. You know, it's going to happen. They're going to be Cheech and Chong dispensaries all over the world, and we're going to. That's all what we're going to do. In fact, today I was planning to redo some of our old, you know, albums and our old movies, just to promote the dispensaries, because it's gonna,
wow.
yeah, you know, it's not we always used to when we recorded an album, we would go in the studio and then we would record another comedy album of the ads for the album, and so that's what we're going to do with the dispensaries. We're just going to go all out and just make it you know. Actually, I was going to call the whole thing Hippie Land, but you know, I got voted down. But the whole experience is going to be like Cheech and Chong Land, you know.
Yeah, man.
Cool. I love
That'll
that.
be
So
awesome.
cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So when is the first shop opening? Is it already done?
We haven't got that. We're just raising the money now. You know,
Okay.
we just put out a call to, you know, favorite nations to all the rich billionaires that I know, and yeah, every time I'd go out to dinner with them or that, they would always say, okay, we want to invest in your marijuana thing, you know, we want to invest. So
That's
I never
good.
really had anything to offer them, you know, solid until the dispensary came up. And so as soon as I told you know, my rich friends, you know, that we had the shops going, every one of them, I'm in. So we're raising a couple of million, maybe $5-10 million, and then we're going to start. We're buying dispensaries. We're not just starting them from scratch. In the beginning, we're just we're just going to pick up and then go in business with the people, you know, because we don't want to put anybody out of business. We want to promote the business, you know. So
that's cool,
Yeah.
man. That's sweet.
That's the cannabis lifestyle. Yeah, we're not here to hurt anybody.
No,
Yeah.
no,
Perfect,
not at
man.
all. There's enough for
So
everybody.
I understand you're gonna throw your paraphernalia business and Cheech's stash business in the same thing with the dispensary. So you're gonna have, you know, Mr. Nice and Tommy Chong bongs and everything.
Oh, everything. It's all going to be there, dude.
Oh man.
I'm sitting here smoking on a Chong Dolph at the minute myself, Tommy.
I don't know. Did you guys ever get any Chong bongs there?
Yeah, there's Chong bongs all over the place,
Sure, yeah.
all over the world. Yeah,
Yeah,
here in the
well,
UK.
Well, what we're doing, I'm starting up a line. It's so funny. There was another company called Jerome Baker, and they were like our competitors. Well, we both, Jerome, Jason Harris, the Jerome Baker guy, we both got busted for bongs, and he only had to do a house arrest, where I went to prison. And anyway, we hooked up because I had once told my son, you know, I wanted to do $1 million bong, you know, just for the millionaires, you know, with diamonds and jewels and gold.
You know, because I can bong, you know.
Yeah. So Jerome, Harris, you know, he got a hold of me, and so we made a deal. He's constructing the $1 million bong. It'll be $1 billion bong when we're finished. But
$1 billion bong.
Yeah, it's going to be.
Jay-Z will buy it.
Oh, it's going to be incredible. And then we're going to tour. We're going to tour all the dispensaries, showing off our $1 billion bong. And then,
nice.
Yeah, it's we got a whole thing going, man. It's going to be so cool.
Well, I'm so jealous. I'm stuck here in the UK with the rain, and you know, just to be able to be there. When you open one of the dispensaries.
It's going to be so much fun, man. And the whole thing, especially with this lockdown, you know, what we're going to do, we're putting a lot of effort because, you know, Cheech is like into the art world, and so am I to some degree. But we're going to have the most incredible catalog of all our products that you can order online, or you can order and then pick it up, or then you come in the stores and enjoy that too. And so we're gonna have the most updated, most hippest. It's gonna be so hip, man. It's just it's gonna be a lifestyle for so many people. Because hey, like my lifestyle, even when I went to jail, I was cool because locking a stoner away with all his fans is really not punishment.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I suppose everybody's a fan of Tommy Chong.
I
It
hope
must be
so.
very rare you come across like any hate mail or any kind of negativity.
Oh, I get it, especially with Trump, because I'm so anti-Trump,
Okay.
So I get all these Trumpies, especially on my Twitter feed, Oh, and they're really sneaky, but I'm onto them now, because they just knock, they just tell lies about, like Biden, for instance, or like they did with Hillary, just tell all these stupid lies, and accuse them all these. What they do, they accuse the other people of what Trump's doing. And so it's like it's hard to accuse Trump of something that someone else has already been accused of without looking like you're just being silly. And so so what I've been doing, I've been having fun with the Trumpies on my Twitter feed.
Just go, Tommy Chong trolls the Trump supporters. Lovely.
Tommy trolls Trump. I love it. Tommy trolls Trump.
So much fun, man. I'm having so much fun. Because what I do, I just lie about everything.
Like the president, man.
Fight fire with fire.
Yeah, and now I got a new tactic. Now all I do, I don't talk about Trump. I don't mention him. I just talk about Biden and Obama. They started getting on me, they said, well, wasn't it Biden's law that put you in jail? And I said, yeah, it was, the paraphernalia law. I said, but he saw the light. That was 20 years ago. I said, now Biden's, I said, and the thing is, when you get Biden, you get Obama free. You don't have to pay him. He's there free, whispering in.
That's a good point.
Yeah, he's really telling Biden what to do. And so it's so
Obama Part 3, eh?
Yeah, exactly. I'm having so much fun, man. You have no idea.
It looks like you're having fun. That's what our viewers are not going to be able to see, is the smile on your face when you're telling us all about this.
Oh,
that's fantastic, man.
Oh yeah, and then
fantastic.
And what we're going to do now, like Cheech and I, we've kind of had it with the touring, because it doesn't look like we're going to be able to tour for a while anyway. But we're going to tour for the the dispensaries, for the pot shops, and we're going to tour, and we're going to be in the press every day, hyping the thing. Well, like my wife, for instance, she's Shelby Chong. Look her up on the internet. She is so gorgeous, and she does the breast strip, THC breast strips that we sell, the Tommy Chong breast strips. There's no smoking. All you do is you peel it back and you put a little breast strip in your mouth, and you get a nice dose of THC. And she uses it.
Nice.
She uses it to sleep, to help her sleep. And so she goes through like 2 or 3 breast strips a night.
You just got to wake up and grab another one of these.
Yeah,
that's super convenient. It's a lot better than eating oil.
And she's so beautiful, and she's incredible. She's
How long have you been married, Tommy? A long time.
Oh yeah, we weren't married for the long time. I've been with her. We've been together forever. Our oldest daughter's over 50. So
no way.
So we've been together forever. But she wouldn't marry me because she never wanted to be a wife. She always wanted to be a mistress.
Did you have to keep a special house for her then? I mean, a true mistress, separate address, separate apartment, the whole thing?
Oh, no, just she gets to get all my money. And
okay,
that's a normal wife, though. That's not different.
Hey, I'm the guy with the little apartment. She's got the house.
Yes, I fully understand you, Mr. Chong.
Gonna have $10 for a bag of weed, please.
Yeah. Well, no, I get all the weed I want. I get all the weed.
I suppose you're gonna get weed thrown at you all the time, aren't you?
All the time. And I'm a light smoker, so what I do, I tip everybody with weed, anybody that works for me, and I get such good service when I go anywhere, man.
Absolutely, yeah. That's what we do here in Canada too. It's awesome.
Oh yeah. Oh, Canada, man. Well, Canada, we had the best BC Bud. Oh, it was the biggest seller in LA for years.
Sure.
Because I had friends that used to smuggle it down over the border and into LA, and they got busted. They got busted one time. They busted them, and then they said, "Okay, where's the safe house? Where's the money, and where's the weed?" And then as soon as they got the money and the weed, they let them go, no charge.
Go figure.
And then there was like, now where's the bong and where's the lighter?
Yeah. So speaking of weed, you and Cheech obviously are quite discerning customers of the herb. What kind of supply are you guys looking at for your dispensaries? Are you going to contract people out yourself, or kind of look into the existing production system now as it exists?
What we do, it's like fine wine, because we're connoisseurs, and and the people from all over the world, they bring us the best bud, and so we're privy, and then we're using the best oil you can have. I already have CBD oil on the market in Walmart all over the states, and I also have in the spray, the mixture and everything, and so our
Tommy's
product,
choice.
our product is so pure, and it's the envy. You can't really mess up pot. I mean, it takes energy. Because by the time you mess it up, another batch, what was three crops a year, 3-4 crops a year are growing right now. So, and then they're experimenting, they're cloning, they're mixing the different clones together. That's why we really actually run out of strain names. When people ask me what's your favorite strain, I say marijuana.
Yeah, that's why I say weed, man. I just like weed.
Weed, marijuana, pot. Yeah, that's my favorite strain.
Smoldering, yes.
Yeah.
So you don't have a particular favorite then, no?
No, not at all. Not at all. In fact, you know what? I tell people too that being straight is a high.
I haven't tried that.
It is sometimes. Yeah, it is sometimes.
Yeah. Being straight is a different kind of high. You're sharper. You're alert. You're not eating everything that you see.
Where I'm the opposite, Tommy. When I don't smoke, I'm all over the place. I cannot focus. I drop everything.
Well, you're young. You're still evolving. You gotta get to the point where it's funny because of this virus. I'd smoke up and I'd forget about it. Like my memory is shot. I swear to God. That's why I was late getting on the Zoom, because they phoned me a half hour before, and then in that time I forgot. It
happens. It happens all the time,
to me, man. All the time, I get so easily distracted, and it's so easy to just forget about something.
Yeah. How many times have you walked in a room to get something, and then you got to stand there and think, okay, what am I looking for?
Look at stuff to try to remind yourself, and
man,
Tommy, I was only telling the boys about a story of how I went to get a grinder disc in the local hardware. 3 times I went to the hardware to get the grinder disc. I came home with loads of fancy tools and stuff.
You come home with sandpaper, mask.
Everything but what you had.
That's why you gotta. And then if you write a note, you can't find the note.
Yeah.
Or you can't read the note.
This is my life all over, man.
Oh yeah. You know, and now they got. I just went shopping. You know, usually my family keeps me locked up because I'm at that age, you know, where I could catch this virus real easy.
Yeah.
Look at
But today I snuck out. I had to take the dogs in for grooming, and so I snuck out. I went to the market with a mask and everything, and oh man, because you know, when I shop, I buy all sorts of shit that I'll never use.
There's a few of us that our wives and husbands look after the finances because we can't be trusted.
No, we can't for sure. So I don't know if you heard, but Facebook took down our Cheech and Chong page.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
But
lame.
again, it's like my guitars, man. As soon as I heard that, I said, "Oh, great! Now we can get a better new page."
Cool.
Yeah, and then
That's
we
the
got,
stoner mentality.
I've got to adopt that. I have to do that.
yeah. Now we got an excuse to really, you know, get on Facebook and have a good time with them. You know, because
Yeah.
you know, first the people that were working on it, they were all pissed off, they were mad, and I said, "Oh no, this is great, man. We can use this because now I'm on a campaign to get Mark Zuckerberg high because we fear that's what he needs. We need to do it. We need to do a intervention.
Have you got a petition up and running or something? Are you just banging on his door? You're on his house, just Mark, come and smoke this.
Mark, we're outside. Come on, man. We got a bong here. Got your name on it. Oh, that's what I'll do. That's what I'll do. I'll have a bong made for Mark Zuckerberg, especially
The Zucker bong.
You can call it the Zuckerberg, man. The Zuckerberg is perfect, Tommy. Yes, the Zuckerberg. Yeah.
That's what I'm going to do. Oh man, you know, my life couldn't be any better. You know, like right now, I'm sitting looking at my swimming pool in my jungle, and
man.
I'm locked down with one of the most. She was really voted one of the top 20 beauties of what was it? It was it was in 2003. I had to go to court to get sentenced to jail, and on the way there, we stopped at the Oprah Winfrey show for my wife to go on with Oprah and be honored for what happened. There was a contest at More Magazine, and it was for models over 40. Well, my wife thought she misread it. She thought it meant over 50. So she submitted a picture, and that's how out of thousands and probably more, hundreds of thousands of entries, she was picked as one of the contestants, one of the top 20. And then she was the only one that was on Oprah Winfrey. And so I'm on my way to get sentenced to jail. And so I'm sitting in the audience, and, you know, incognito. They kind of figured out, somebody found out that I was there, but Oprah is so straight, you know, that, you know, she wasn't going to make any fuss.
Say anything.
Cool, that's sweet.
So my wife goes on with Oprah, and she was so nervous and so beautiful. And she's tiny. She's only 5'6", and every other contestant was over 6 foot. They're ex-models. So here she is, was this in the Valley of the Giants, and Oprah, of course, Oprah picked her right away because she was shorter than, or the same height as Oprah, and so they had a nice little to do on stage.
Awesome.
But they didn't mention me, and it was so funny because I'm sitting there thinking, man, I'm going to go to jail tomorrow, and my wife's on Oprah.
Oh, it's the next day as well. Wow. That's peaks and troughs, isn't it? Riding high one day and locked up the next day.
That's what it was. But, you know, Vanity Fair sent a limo for me to take me to jail. So I rode, you know, out to Bakersfield from LA in a limo, and we got stopped for speeding. And so the limo driver says, I got Tommy Chong here. We're taking him to jail. And the cop says, oh, okay, go ahead, sir. No problem.
We just want to get him to jail as quickly as possible because he's a risk to everybody, officer.
Yes.
We better get him off the street straight away. He's gone.
That's what it was.
That was shocking when you were sent to jail as well. And it was only over paraphernalia as well.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
you-
No, it was
Yeah, that was crazy.
it was purely political. It was all
Mhm,
political.
definitely.
Yeah, it was George Bush was in the middle of the Iraqi war, and they were saying about they're looking for weapons of mass destruction, and I think I would have got house arrest, except the press asked me about the bust, and I said, "Well, the only weapons of mass destruction Bush found were my bongs."
Yeah.
Legendary.
See what comedians do for a laugh.
Exactly. 9 months in prison for some jokes,
Yeah.
Tommy. That's a big price,
Yeah.
buddy.
Yeah.
You know, it's a harsh price to pay. So, Tommy, let me ask you about you because you've been on loads of TV shows and movies and stuff. But which was your favorite role to play? Which one felt less like work and more just having a good time?
Probably that '70s show. You know, when I was on
Oh,
that
brilliant!
70s
Yeah,
show.
yeah.
Oh.
That was like my favorite version of Tommy Chong was Leo
Yeah.
in the '70s
The
show.
photo man.
Some of them
yeah.
scenes were
That
genius,
was
man. Still
Yeah.
a lot
crack
of
me up
people
now.
our age's intro to Tommy Chong was that '70s show. So
Mm.
yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah. It was my favorite role because I didn't have to direct, I didn't have to write, I didn't have to do anything. I just had to show up and be stupid.
Just be Leo.
It was Leo. It was great. You know what's funny about the '70s show is that they had this sort of hierarchy thing going at the '70s show when I joined. There's the stars, and then their co-stars, and then it went
Yeah.
down, and like the kids, they all hung together, and then the parents, they hung together, and it was kind of a hierarchy, and so they looked at me kind of like an outsider, like who's this guy? Well,
Yeah.
at the end of the show, at the rap thing, it was all different then.
Yeah.
Then they realized, this was our last show, and Kitty, she was kind of, just a little bit aloof, because she's a working actress forever, and she, the Kitty, the mom,
Yeah.
we're doing the last scene, and instead of calling me Leo, she called me Tommy. It was so cute. And she didn't even realize it. Like, we're gonna miss
Oh,
you,
man.
Tommy. We're gonna miss you, Tommy.
Oh,
And
sweet.
and then they said,
Nice.
cut. It's Leo. And she, oh, yeah. What did I say? Did I say Tommy? Oh, it was so sweet. No, that show, it ended up really.
Yeah.
Watching those kids grow up, it was such a thrill. And for me, it was like going to acting school, because I'd never taken a formal lesson in my life, And so when we got on that show, I used to sit in because I had a small part. And so instead of sitting in the dressing room, I would go on the set and watch Dick Traynor, the director, kind of teach acting, showing the little tricks in that, man. I learned so much. It was so much fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah, one of my favorite scenes from the '70s show was when you and Hyde, well, not you, but Leo and Hyde were playing the game of life, and Leo was explaining about how his kids had split, and Hyde was explaining how his dad was split, and then Leo sat there and he's like, "And now we found each other. Will you be my father?" That cracked me up, man. It's one of the best scenes ever. I love it.
Yeah. I tried every once in a while. I try to add my little 2 bits in there. I ended up putting in one line with the guy from the Tim Allen show. We did one little thing, and I just added. I got to add one word, I think it was, but it was cool. It was cool. I've always been the guy. I've never turned down any kind of work. When I was a kid growing up, we're pretty poor, and so when people ask you to, I grew up kind of like on a farm, in the country. We never had a farm. We're in between the city and the farms, and so we're the Tobacco Road almost. And the thing is, when you live in the country, people, you help each other. Like they'll call you, hey, if a car gets stuck, hey, come on, help me push them out. Or listen, I got to go somewhere. Will you take care of the kids? It was never about how much am I getting paid.
Yeah.
It was always helping people. And
It's
so,
just to help someone.
Yeah, and so as I grew up, I'd have a kid with a paper route. He'd say, "Can you help me collect money tonight?" Be like 40 below degrees outside, and it would be horrible job, and I'd just help him out, and that's what I did all my life. I took a job because someone needed me to do something, and so. It was never about money, but I found out real early that it's not about money. It's all about helping somebody. And if you can help somebody and they need help, it's your duty. You have to do it. It's just the way we were raised. And so when we got to the point, like the movie, like Up in Smoke, we had a chance one time because we had some disagreements with the director, who was our producer, record producer, and we had a chance right then because we did. I got sued. It just shows you how it works. I got sued for really, it was bogus by the director's what do you call it? His accountant. Because he had fired the accountant too, and so the accountant was out some money, and so he sued me, and so of course my lawyer, we had to do a countersuit. But when we did the countersuit, we did the discovery, and we found out all those things going on with the movie. If I wanted to, we could have had the whole movie. Up in Smoke could have been ours.
Right.
Totally. But instead, their side offered us a great settlement deal. Now remember, they're suing me, and it ended up.
They offered you a settlement.
It ended up them giving us a huge settlement. Now I could have been greedy, and we could have made millions, but that's not the way I am. I just want what's fair for me, and we did, and by doing that, it opened the doors for all the other movies and the rest of the career. We never had that bitterness of fighting over stupid stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so that's what I learned.
Up in Smoke is like a cult classic now, isn't it?
Oh, totally.
Every stoner's seen it, and if they haven't, then they must go see it, and they will enjoy it. Of course, it's like the original stoner film, apart from Reefer Madness, which obviously doesn't count.
Yeah. No, Up in Smoke, it changed the world of the Chicano, of the Latin guys. Up until then, they were just used as extras almost. Or bad guys. Put a headband on them and have them kill somebody.
Right.
And we humanized the lowrider, and then we also humanized the rich hippie. It was a stroke of genius, and we made that movie for less than $1 million. It was like it came in about under $800,000.
Wow,
it was incredible.
I have to say, in that movie, you're seeing where you throw the spliff out on top of onto the nuns. That is just the all-time best for me.
With the nuns.
Yeah.
Oh man. Oh, there's so many good things, and that was the other thing too. If that movie was just Cheech and Chong, I would have went forward with the suit. But the truth is that the director Lou, he added that nun scene. That was his scene. He added Stacy Keach. He got Stacy. I had another comedian in mind, but Lou knew Stacy, and Stacy loved the part. And there were so many things in there. Like I had written all sorts of things. That we had to make miniaturize. But the only thing I did that really made it my movie was that I reshot the ending. Lou had put this ending together, and it was all a dream. And and I could no one wanted to go with that ending.
No.
And so
no.
I come up with the ending that we just rode off into the sunset, smoking a little bit of hash, and Cheech drops it between his legs.
Yeah.
Yep.
Been there, done that. How many times? Yeah.
It was all
So you
about,
still see Cheech very often?
Oh yeah, we're together. We're especially with his dispensaries. We're going to be back together. Yeah. I mean, we were performing. We did. The. See, I'm getting a stoner brain now. The casinos. We did all casinos around America. In fact, I've been planning a whole thing with a new Cheech and Chong revival for the dispensaries. It's going to be great.
Right.
Cool. And would you plan to put them in open a dispensary in like the UK or in Ireland or in Europe?
Absolutely.
Soon as they push for that, Tommy, man, you gotta help us out. You gotta get over and kick the shit out of Boris and say, "Yo, they need weed over here, man."
Oh, for sure. Well, we'll do it medically. We go in there and do it medically, and that's what we got to do. We'll get Sandra Gupta, from CNN, and show that people with the epilepsy, how it helps them, and MS, and all those diseases.
Yeah.
And I know that the UK has a ton of that kind of suffering too. And more than anything, it stops the alcoholism, and the whole
opioid abuse.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. It lessens it. And so we separate it from the dangerous substances and show it. And then we'll get athletes, we'll get the athletes over there. That it helps them, helps them heal. Like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar played basketball for 7 years after he should have retired because all he would do was smoke weed. Marijuana was his secret sauce. That's what kept him in there. And Mike Tyson now, one of the greatest heavyweights. He has his own brand.
Sure.
He's getting back in the ring soon.
I want to try and get Mike Tyson on the show as well. I'd love to get Tyson on.
Oh yeah, you got to get Mike on.
I'm trying.
Ask him one thing for me. Did Ludacris, the rapper?
Yeah.
Ludacris. Did he get his name from Mike Tyson's pronouncing? Remember, Mike used to say, "Oh, that's Ludacris."
I can't ask him that, Tommy, man. He'll punch me in the face over the Zoom conversation. I can't do that.
Through the screen.
I feel that from here.
I've been dying to ask. Actually, we got to ask Ludacris.
He seems like such a good guy as well. Have you met Tyson before, Tommy?
I haven't met him yet. We've come close. He was supposed to be on a show I was on, and I was supposed to be going out to his thing. But it hasn't happened yet. It'll happen. I've been hanging. I hang a lot with Sugar Ray Leonard, the boxer.
Cool.
He's very cool. And I had to convince his. When I first met Sugar Ray, his wife was so anti-drug because she had a 16-year-old kid. And so when I first met her, Bernie, she asked me, she says, "I need some advice. My kid's getting into drugs. What do you think I should do?" I said, "Well, send him over to me."
It's good advice, man.
It is.
The kid's going to go out and do it anyway, so you might as well send it to an experienced professional.
Send him over to me.
I love it.
Send him over to me. I'll get him. I'll school him. And then at first she thought I was, serious, and then she realized, Tommy Chong wants to help you with your drug problem.
But that would be like learning from the master. That would be like going and learning from Yoda.
Yeah, I've been teaching people, and then I get tired. People ask me all stupid questions. They say, "Oh, you had cancer. I got cancer. What should I do?" I said, "Talk to your doctor."
Yeah, that would be a good idea. See them a medical professional.
Yeah, talk to your doctor or Google marijuana.
Exactly.
That's what I tell everybody. You got a computer? You got a phone? Yeah. Google it. Then you find out.
We're still really, really backwards over in Ireland. when it comes to legalization, of even when it comes to medicinal.
Yeah, that's all gonna. Well, hey, listen, you just got, you guys just figured out the nun thing over there. Yeah. So, it's gonna be a little, little catching up to do there. Oh,
Yeah.
It takes a while.
I watched. I'm part Irish. I don't know what part. My my mother, on my mother's side, her grandfather was Irish. He was a Dillon. And
Oh, very cool.
And on my mother's side again, her grandfather on her father's side was, or her father actually was Scottish, a Gilchrist. So I'm a Gilchrist and a Dillon, and a Chong.
Cool.
For years I didn't realize you were Chinese. Are you Chinese, right?
Half.
You're half Chinese. I didn't realize your surname was like related to China, a Chinese name. I thought it was actually like a show name from Chongin, but the term Chongin comes from, that's a term in the UK, Chongin, but it comes from Tommy Chong, and I thought you just had a stage name. I didn't know it was your actual name.
Yeah, it was. I was named after my uncle. My uncle in Edmonton, Alberta. His name was Tommy Chong, and he was quite well known in the academic field. And when I was 16 years old, we moved. We lived in Calgary, and they lived in. My uncle lived in Edmonton. He stayed in Edmonton all his life. He was an academic all his life, and so when I was 16 years old, me and my buddy, we drove to Edmonton, and I knocked on his door about 6 in the morning. and he come to the door, opened the door a crack. He goes, yeah. I says, hey, Uncle Tommy, I'm Tommy. I'm your nephew. And it was a long pause. He goes, yeah. I said, well, I just wanted to say hi. And he said, okay, hello. And then he closed the door. And then years later, when I started getting reviews in the paper, Tommy Chong's movie, Tommy Chong's comedy, he called me up. Now I was.
The tide has turned.
Yeah, now he was very, very, and because he was such an academic, he would save all the clippings, all the reviews,
cool.
and we ended up
showing his friends, pretending it's him. It's like, look at me, me in the paper. Look.
No,
I made this film. I'm in disguise. Like, you can't tell it's me.
No, he was very proud. He was very proud. Like Cheech,
Awesome.
Cheech's dad was a cop.
Really?
LAPD, and
Wow.
and that's why Cheech really hesitated to play the lowrider, because we didn't know, like in Canada, and we didn't know Cheech was Mexican. We thought he was some kind of Arab, or some kind of schmang. And so when we came down to LA and we started working in LA, and then we didn't go over so well, and I told Cheech, I said, you're from here, man. There must be a character you can play. And Cheech said, well, there's one, but I hate to, I don't want to do it. I said, why? He said, well, it's kind of detrimental to the Chicano. I said, well, we're comedians, man. That's our job.
It's supposed to be. Yeah.
And so he showed. So that night we did that character, and that was like, that opened the door. Minute Cheech says, hey, Red Freak, you want to ride, man? The minute he said that, the audience just went nuts, and that was our.
It was born.
That was
born.
Yeah,
that was cool.
So, what did Cheech's dad think about the whole relation to cannabis in the show and
the
TV?
He actually hated Cheech right up until he became.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he hated Richard. He hated his son because he was a big guy, big cop, and Cheech was short. Cheech never really attained the height that the dad thought he should have. And Cheech was the only son, so he was a kind of a mama's boy. And so his dad, for the first few years of Cheech's life, his dad treated him like a Mexican laborer, had him doing patios and working bad, and really mean,
Man.
mean to him.
Oh,
Yeah,
So
that's not
then,
cool, man.
so Cheech left and went up to Canada where I met him, and then he became Cheech and Chong. Well, as soon as he became Cheech and Chong, then all the cops at the station, you know, they were, Oscar, that's your son? Cheech is your son? Oscar, oh man. And then Cheech and Oscar became the best friends after that.
No way.
Oh,
Cool.
Oscar, Oscar was serious. You know, he's like a real harness bull. You know, one of those tough guys. He passed away a little while ago, and Cheech cried like a baby, man.
Yeah, I'm sure.
He loved his dad, but at least he lived long enough to see his dad just do a 360. Actually, he came right around,
Yeah.
and he loved Cheech after that. You know, and everything worked out.
But it's,
you know,
it's part of
when-
that
when-
generation, you know.
Yeah, when
Some
you're-
people just will always see weed as dangerous drug because that's what they've been shown on the TV.
Yeah. The thing is, when you can buy your parents a house, you know, their attitudes
Yeah.
change.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Very, very true.
Yeah, when you really get down to it, you guys' comedy isn't just superficial stuff either. It's really like deep stuff when you really look into it. So I mean,
Absolutely. Well, neither one
Yeah,
of us,
you
neither Cheech or I were trained. We made it up as we went along. You know, I mean, I got into the improvisational theater because when I was with Motown, you know, a musician, you know, I was a sideman, you know, and so, you know, I wasn't a star, I wasn't singing, I was playing guitar, you kind of in the background, you know, even though it was my band or used to be my band until we got to Motown. And so I actually got fired for trying to get a green card, you know, but that freed me, you know. And then Barry Gordy himself called me up and said, "Hey, you're not fired." And I said, "Yeah, I think I am." You know, I told Barry, I said, "I want to be a Barry Gordy. I don't want to work for one." And he says, "I can
Cool.
respect that." And to this day, you know, we're still really, you know, tight, you know, Barry and everybody. But yeah, you know, but neither Cheech or I, you know, we never even contemplated being a comedian. We had to learn. You know, it's like a job, you know. It's another job to do. Okay, you got to learn how to be a comedian. Okay, let's do it. And that's what Cheech was like too. Cheech could do all these voices and all these things, you know, but he would just do it to entertain his friends, you know.
right. That's
fact,
why it's so good because
that's how I got turned on to Cheech, because when we needed another actor, this mutual friend of Cheech and I, he said, "Hey, you got to meet this guy. He's really funny. He's
Awesome.
so entertaining." And then I met Cheech, and wow, it was
Wow.
a match. It was a match made in heaven.
Yeah, just instant chemistry.
Straight away.
Yeah, because we were both, neither one of us were trained to, you know, like Cheech would say, he could sing a little bit, you know, and I could play guitar a little bit, you know, and so we were going to start a band at first, and then we said, well, we'll do a little comedy before we play music. And we never did play a note. We never played a note.
Still
but
getting
you
around
used a
to
little
it.
music in the comedy a little bit, though.
Oh yeah. I
Yeah.
used all my music chops now. You know, I've been writing. I'm more of a poet than a musician. Although, you know, I've been, especially I went on The Masked Singer, and I had to take singing lessons, and I got a voice. I just need to train it, you know. And it takes, you know. So I've been.
It's like learning to play an instrument, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
It is an instrument.
Yeah, it is, and you got to treat it like that. You got to practice, and you got to, you know, your diction and everything. You know, my Canadian, accent, my Canadian teaching. When they teach you in Canada, it's really bad. Like they would get an English teacher to teach you French.
yeah,
because they never had a real French teacher. And so
unless you're in Quebec.
So you learn French with this horrible accent, taught by a teacher that never uses it. And so,
Right.
so I almost had a thing against learning language. We lived in Paris for 2-3 years, and the only thing I learned was je ne parle pas français.
Good to know. It's a good one. Yeah.
That's the only thing I learned, and that's the only thing I used wherever I went. But
do you get recognized like when you when you was like in Paris? Because I'm sure you get recognized on the street sometimes.
Not so much in
States.
Paris. Not so much
Yeah.
in Paris. Budapest, I got recognized.
Yeah.
In Berlin, I got recognized.
Right.
England, London, I got recognized. but not in Paris. Paris. Paris
Yeah.
don't like people that live a half a mile outside of Paris.
People in Paris don't like people who live in Paris.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was so funny there because like I said, we lived there, and we did a movie there, and so Cheech, the movie people rented Cheech's beautiful house on Avenue Foch, and it was filled with all this exotic, beautiful art, Stellas and all these expensive art. And so we would have the odd party over there at Cheech's place. Cheech loved Paris, man. Oh, he was in heaven because he loves to eat and drink, and that was his favorite thing. And that's all you got to do. That's all you want to do in Paris, just eat and drink.
Must be a beautiful place, man. I've never been to Paris.
Really? Oh,
Yeah.
It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous.
I was there but a child.
Well, I've never been there. I've never been to England. Never been to Scotland or Ireland yet. And I'm waiting.
Well, Tommy, if you ever come to Ireland, I will show you the ins and out of the country.
I'm going to take you up on that because that's on my bucket list.
You'll love his dogs.
I will have 3 Great Danes now in a few weeks, Tommy. I have
you're going to
more
have 3 Great Danes?
Yeah, I have one now at the minute, and we're getting 2 brothers. It's going to be Thor and Loki.
Oh my God!
Because I already have Odin.
Have you thought it through as far as picking up the dog poop?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, well, I've got quite a big yard, so
gonna need a little bobcat for those crabs.
Compost.
Yeah, here, when I moved to LA. I got it. That was 30 years ago or so. When we moved up to the Palisades, a nice area, I did a show for a kennel, rescue, for a dog rescue, SPCA thing,
Oh yeah.
Adopt dogs, and I'm on the show, and they put a puppy in my lap that needed a home. No, come on.
So you took it home, right?
I took it home, and halfway home, I phoned my wife on the phone. I said, I got a dog. And she goes, well, that'll be temporary. And so that's what I named him. I named him Tempe.
Temporary.
And he stayed with us for 16 years.
Oh wow!
Oh, fantastic!
He was
awesome,
so
man.
cool. Yeah,
Well, we were saying earlier, it's better to ask for forgiveness than permission.
Oh, it always is.
Well,
Definitely.
I grew up, like I said, in Canada, kind of in the country, kind of. And you had dogs there, but you never walked them. You opened the door, you let them out.
Yeah.
Let the dog out, or let the dog in. And sometimes it'd be 2-3 days later, the dog would come home, and then you'd be at the door. And there was no dog food. There's no dog food. You just, whatever scraps was left, you okay, here, you can have that, Or my mom would cook a little extra portion for the dog. But there's no dog food. There's no cat food. There's none of that. We never got that, until we moved into the city, But, and so when I moved up to the Palisades, when I'm with my black Labrador, Tempe, I would just let him out, wander the neighborhood. And one time the neighbor, I wasn't home, but the neighbor came with a gun. He had a weapon, knocked on the door and says, your dog's been pissing on my flowers,
So I'm gonna come to your house with a gun.
With a gun.
With a gun. Yeah.
What a fucking whack job.
Yeah, and my son, luckily, he grew up here, so he knows all the ins and outs of everything. So he was very respectful. So then I used to take him on walks, Tempe, and we lived right near a wilderness area. And one time, the animal control people pulled up to me and they said, "Is this your dog?" And I said, "No."
Oh.
Did they take the dog away, Tommy?
No, he couldn't get near him.
Oh.
Tammy would run away from him. But after
perfect.
that, then my daughter started walking him a lot, and so then she got leash for him. And then I took lessons. I took lessons on how to train. I took lessons from an Israeli dog trainer, a lady, and she taught me all the tricks how to train a dog. Yeah, my wife, she takes lessons. She takes 3 lessons a day for dancing, ballroom dancing, ballet, tango, and then she does ballroom, tango, and yoga. No, I'm recovering from a gout attack. I had a sore toe, so I could. But I'm learning how to dance tango. I kind of know.
Very
but
cool.
I kind of know, but I got to practice on my own. But it's so good. Hey, listen, man,
I'm sure we've been a long time. It's been a massive pleasure having you.
Yeah,
Tommy, it is.
Anytime you want to come along again and chat with us, of course, you are always welcome. There's a seat open to you at any time.
Oh, good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that, and I'll take you up on it, especially when we get the things going. And
Anytime.
And we got to figure out a way to start getting the medical in Ireland and in the UK.
Yeah, it's hard work, man.
Oh, it's so
Keep
hard.
pushing. Keep showing people that it's not so bad, and
no, all it takes is money. See, so we just have to find the right backer, in the UK, and once we get the money, then we can just start the propaganda. Start showing how good it is and how much taxes, how much money, that the government's losing, and how because your health system, the health here in America has been so improved since they've legalized, especially the medical, because now you don't have that expensive medicine, the useless medicine that they give you,
The prescription drugs.
Yeah, all that.
It's just poison.
That kills more people than anything. Just like the old age homes, if they would just fill those old age homes up with weed and hash, they wouldn't have any problem.
Sure.
They'd have a lot more visitors.
Very happy residents.
Absolutely.
Grandkids would stay longer.
I'm gonna go visit Grandpa. I'll see you tomorrow.
I'll be back next week.
And Grandpa would say, "Hey, bring me those croissants, man."
So you're not allowed
my bong while you're here, son.
Okay,
I'm
guys.
sure you got loads to do, man.
Yep.
We really appreciate it, Tommy. Legend. How much of a legend is Tommy Chong, man?
He is unreal.
Thanks for everything. Not just doing the podcast, but everything you've done. The activism, the bringing cannabis into a better light for the last 50 years.
Yeah,
you're a legend, man.
Well, let's
really appreciate it, Tommy.
Very much, sir.
Massive pleasure.
Let's stay in touch. Let's do something. Okay. Ciao,
Nice.
ciao.
Perfect plan.
Right. Have a great day, Tommy.
Okay. Bye.
See you, Tommy.
Take care, mate.
See you, Tommy. Bye-bye.
I'll cut off the end of the song there pretty quick, but there you go. That was Tommy Chong. How about that interview, lads?
That was awesome. It was so much fun doing that interview. I just can't explain it. It was
2 weeks
awesome.
ago, never would have thought, man.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago, it would have been like, Tommy Chong, you're having a laugh. He ain't going to come and spend no time with us. And we was only booked in for half an hour for the chat. And we stayed for an hour and 15 minutes altogether. There's an unedited version of the audio
Yes, you have
but
to find that one
fucking
somewhere.
amazing. And you know, us in the UK here, we can't even tell anybody. I'm not even allowed to tell my own mother. Wow, I was speaking to Tommy Chong,
That's tough.
brother.
Yeah,
That's
You
so
know,
tough.
it is so hard.
so you know, the
I've
man's
told
a
Yeah.
legend.
everybody.
And as you heard, he's got the dispensaries opening soon. And I'm sure everybody don't need to be told to support that dispensary when it opens. You're gonna get the best shit from there. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
Mm.
without fail, and you just know it's going to be even styled on the inside and everything is going to be just fucking epic.
You know,
Mm.
you're gonna have
The man
Tommy
has a
Chong,
vision
Chong shit
that
playing on the TV. It's gonna be awesome.
Another reason to visit the US, I think.
Mm. You never know.
Yeah.
We might be working on something real soon, man. That's going to help push for legislation over here. We're going to come up with some plans, and Percy's
Cool.
Grow Room and Tommy Chong might be working on some projects in the future. So
Yeah,
keep
that
your
would
eyes
be
open for that.
awesome.
Yeah.
And
Never
hopefully
know.
we'll be back on the show again as well. You know, in the future when he does open his dispensaries, I'm sure we'll be happy to jump back on and tell us how things are going.
Yes,
Wow.
definitely.
Might have to make an in-person interview. You never know.
Just if you've liked the show so far, especially over the last the 4 episodes which we've done so far, we work really hard making these shows and planning everything and putting it all together every week. So if you just drop us a like and subscribe and share it around Facebook and Twitter if you can, let other people know about the show because we want to get more listeners in obviously and help the show grow. So we'd appreciate that if you could do that. But
Yeah.
with that, thank you very much, Tommy Chong. And if you're listening to the show, if you've got time to, it's an absolute pleasure. I hope we get you on
Legend.
again.
Legend.
So now,
Merci
what the
beaucoup.
fuck was that? You know, it's like back to chill time. Back to chill time with the nice little reggae tune there. ZN, take it away, son. What you got for us?
Well,
Last week.
it's
Yeah.
it's a continuation of the video game thing because that's me. Sorry, boys. The last week's one we had a winner. Are we going to do that now?
Oh, did we? Did we have a winner? I didn't see anybody make a comment.
Was it not last week? Oh no.
The one before
No,
that.
the week before,
Have you
wasn't
been? Have you been smoking that cannabis again?
I have.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my word.
He snuck
It's
a
okay.
cannabis cigarette
Just ignore
again.
me.
He's
Yeah, I'll
been
have
on the
another one in a
cannabis
minute.
cigarettes again, lads.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, so so it's like week number
Marijuana.
So
3.
this week,
Yes.
guess what? It's another one on a video game thing.
So here's last week's.
And nobody got it.
And nobody got it. Nobody. I was close. I said it was somebody dying on a machine.
It was close. But, you know, I'm Mr. Anal. It's got to be Paching. And I'm not accepting it could be this or it could be this or it could be this. That's not happening.
It has to be right, man. He wants
It
it
has
in
to be
binary.
right.
He
Yeah,
wants
if you
it
play
in
games,
sound clip
And if
binary
you played
form.
games over the last decade, you'll know it. It's there.
So no guesses
No.
in the chat, I wouldn't think. And there's
No
really
guesses
enough
in the
time
chat.
to let people guess in the chat. If you want to guess on what the
No,
fuck was
Bob,
that and
it's
try and
lost
take
in
a shot at the
computer.
prize pool, and we got a special
It's
prize in the
close.
prize pool this week.
It's 8-bit.
I see
Sinclair
somebody said
computer loading from Bob
loading.
Hall.
That's
No,
right.
Yeah.
no.
It sounds kind of like an
CN,
old
reveal what it was,
56K
man.
modem.
I thought that too.
It
It
does
sounded
sound
like a modem
56K
carrier tone
modem, but
almost.
it's not. Bad luck.
A B C.
while you're thinking about that, we'll actually just get Mackie. You did mention it there a second ago.
Yeah.
We do have a very good prize for the what the fuck is that competition this week.
So that's this week.
We have it. You'll see it. There'll be a post up on the forum showing the prize and that, but it is a good selection from a great shop called Himalayan Craft Shop. We were talking about them in previous episodes. They're over here in Ireland. They're great bongs, pipes, nice people too up there as well. So make sure you drop in and have a look and say hello. They gave gave us Chong Dolphs. They gave us T-shirts, stickers. They gave us a big prize, so you'll see it. It's up there. It's a fucking pretty epic prize.
Yeah,
so I just wanted to say a shout out to them as well.
So last week, let's get last week's one out of the way. Zian, you want to reveal what it was?
Last week's was Deep Space 2. Dead Space 2, actually. PC game from 2002. Yeah, a long time ago. It was you dying. It was the end of your rig. So life ceased.
Okay then. So now
Comes for us all, man.
this is this week's. So are you ready for it? Because it's just a quick one. You're gonna hear it once. Ready? What's that? What the fuck is that?
That's the sound that Zombie Nation told you to put up there. Do I win?
Don't tell him what it is,
Win.
Ian. Don't tell him.
Win.
I've heard before.
It's been heard before by lots of people.
I'm just trying to. I'm sitting here racking my head.
Excellent
Dropping more clues.
Excellent.
You know, more clues.
Lots of people have heard this.
Oh, I know what it is. It's that sound from that thing.
It is
That's
that
what
sound from
I
that
thought
thing.
exactly
Well
the
done.
same thing.
You
Did I
win.
win? Okay, I win the prize.
Don't forget
No,
the prize
not Bob.
is
That's close.
the prize
Okay.
is one of them Chung Dolph pipes, which
That
you
would
can
be a
come
good
over to
prize.
Percy's and see it in the what the fuck was that prize pool. You know,
No,
Percy'sGrowing.com.
Awesome.
I don't know.
Sonic.
So,
I'm jealous.
yeah, it's a nice prize, man. It's
Good
a nice
tries,
prize.
though. Good goes.
Give it a shot. See if you can win it. So with that, we'll move on to the Q&A, right? Sonic the Hedgehog losing his rings. No, I know that sound. That's my man, bro.
It's an awful
I
sound.
have to say that's the one that I was thinking of.
Look at that picking
but
up a
not that
weapon on
close.
Streets of Rage, you know, because I know that sound too, Bob. That's more like a. See, that was an
No,
accurate
did
definition
not
of
take
that
any
sound.
of
as
that.
well. I'm impressed. Yeah. Right. Anyway, so we're on the Q&A. I mean, you can't ask questions about what the fuck was that because we won't answer.
No, you
them.
can't.
But you know, you need to
Because I
ask
won't
us
answer
any
them.
question you like about growing. If you're having any problems, then just drop an answer in the YouTube chat, or you can ask questions in the forum as well, and we'll ask them on the live chat every week. So if you have any questions, then do drop them in the chat and let us know. But I've noticed this week a lot of questions are coming in on is my plant male or female, and there's some particular things that you need to look for when you come into that stage of growth when you need to find out if your plant is male or female or not. So anybody want to try and explain verbally how to identify a male or female plant? Because it's much easier done with pictures, you know.
Absolutely.
It's going to take way more than 1,000 words. I mean, that's just crazy.
Well, I would say it's more you kind of see quite a little fast sacks, isn't it, lads? Instead of you won't see the pistil hairs coming out, and you're going to see little fat nanas.
Yeah, white
They
hairs
look
is
like
the key, you know.
Like mushrooms in a way, they have a stalk with a little bulbous end on the end. If it's a male, and if it's a female, you have your bract with the two stigma coming out the top, which is obvious.
Kind of tear shape with the hair out the end of it.
Yeah, I like to look at it like
male balls at the top, female balls at the bottom.
Yeah, they kind of do that. Yeah.
You know, I like to look at. I think the males look more like a bunch of grapes. You know, they're rounder and they bunch together. And the calyx of the female is more like round, but then it's got a point on the end with the white hair coming out of it, and that's the best way to identify it.
Yeah, the hair on the end is definitely a giveaway.
Pre-flowers too. I mean, they're the same as regular flowers. Obviously, they just form as right at the nodes, right at the sixth node, kind of as they grow up. And yeah, that's a great way to start identifying sex if you're running photos and you don't have them in flower before that happens.
Yeah.
And yeah, you just look right where the branches pop out of the stem and where the leaf growth is, right behind the stipule or the stipes, I think they're called, those two little weird looking leaf things. That's where the flowers will actually grow out. So you can spot them kind of before anything nasty happens. Yeah. But even if you do get a male, right?
I would do it as a ghost.
Yeah, you still have about 2 weeks, I would say, before you're in some serious trouble letting all the pollen out. Yeah, you got a few days before.
That's it. It takes at least a week. It's like a week or 10 days before the pollen's viable after the male flower forms.
Yeah, it happens really fast, but if you're down there every day, you should be able to spot it.
Yeah. When you're going through that stage where it's when you flip the lights, or if you've got an auto and you're about 3-4 weeks through, and you're expecting to see flowers, you want to be checking every day to see if you see something. And if you suspect anything dodgy, because you see it a lot as well, some growers, they'll see calyxes and think that they're balls and kill a female plant, which would have been perfectly good just because they thought it was a ball. Make sure that you identify it properly first, and if you need any help, then come over to Percy's and we can identify it for you and help explain how to identify it yourself the next time as well.
Just don't panic. That's the big thing. It's exactly, even if you do get a male, it's not gonna pollinate right then. So
Don't chop anything down. You got days, man. Don't panic. Even if you just leave it a couple more days, so you can be sure that they are male flowers. You know, it's not gonna, as we say, the pollen's gonna take about a week before it's viable anyway. So you got a few days to work with. Don't rush. All right.
Mhm.
No
Don't
questions in
waste
the
your
chat.
time.
No questions.
Just about the what the fuck was that? And that was about it.
And now it's not Tekken either.
Yeah.
No. What questions would you think would also be suitable for new growers? What's the most common question we've seen this week?
This week.
Carbon filters and that. Have you covered the carbon filter? Because that's and extraction and the importance of good airflow.
White LED. Yeah, I mean, do you guys use carbon filter? Well, TG, do you use one at all? Cause,
I do, yeah. I use both, like, because like obviously in Canada it's legal. You still don't want to be pumping, weed odors too much out into the neighborhood because there are some opportunistic people and whatnot, and some people just don't like the smell. But yeah, I use carbon filters. I have 310s, so I mean, ideally I'd have them all ducted out my chimney and all kind of vented together there. But at this point, I don't have that set up. So yeah, I need to use a carbon filter for my tents, and they work really well. I just use the cheap, forget what brand it is. It's like iPower, Vivo Sun, or one of those from Amazon.
Yeah, I use those.
Yeah, I mean, I've had no issues with them. So,
because they're an important feature to the grow
work.
room, man. They, regardless of whether you grow legally or not, as TG said, there's people you don't want to find out about your grow. Somebody's going to steal it, So
And
carbon filter is an important
honestly,
factor. Need them.
If you're pumping that stuff like in full flower out into your house, it like you might get kind of nose blind to it when you're in there, but you will always smell like weed. And like for some people that's not an issue, but not everybody wants to walk around smelling like super dank all the time.
That's it's
Oh, there's
pungent
an
as
awful
well.
lot of a smell like weed all the time anyway, just with the amount of smoke.
That's a different level of pungency when it's growing.
Like everything in your house, like it's pungent shit.
They're saying they're Miguel, a new grower, asked white LEDs work. Yeah, they can do. It depends on what brand, man.
It also depends on the Kelvin rating as well.
Yeah, there's a lot to it when it comes to LED. It's not just about the color of the light; it's like the temperature of the light, and there's a lot that goes into it, man. You go with a reliable brand. I mean, we've got a couple of good sponsors on the website that give good LEDs out, man. In Invisible Sun, their lights are just the top of the range, man. Dog's bollocks. That's English for like top quality. For some reason, I don't know why. That's the dog's bollocks. That is because English people love dog's bollocks. Apparently, they think they're really good.
What is a bollock?
That thing that dangles between the dog's back
a testicle, mate.
Yes, it's a bloke.
Okay. I figured that. Yeah.
My son educated me long ago.
No, it's a good slang term as well. Bollocks.
Yeah, well, I hear it
you
all
could
the
even
time.
be like, "Oh man, he's talking bollocks." It's one of them. It's like shit. You can use it for many fucking things, man.
Sex Pistols have, never mind the bollocks. And sounds like, that's a good name. I wonder what that means. I never looked it up.
The Mars Hydro as well. The Mars Hydro shit is really good. Their new range, that TS 2000 I've got is really fucking nice, man. Does the job nicely as well. So it depends on how much you want to spend, but don't go cheap with LED because it'll probably be shit. If you haven't got the budget for it, then just go with the standard HPS and a halide or a dual spectrum. Go for the HID light until you can afford the LED.
I always say if it's always just the sake of like a couple of weeks, 2, 3, 4 weeks of having to just put an extra few pound aside. I wouldn't even waste money going down to HPS.
Yeah, it's becoming outdated.
It is if you're going for LED, and this is what I say to. Oh, no, sorry, TG. I know you use HPS and that.
No, just kidding.
Yeah, no, TG's upgraded to a beast of a light as well.
I got both, man.
He's fucking everything.
I got HPS in the winter just for the heat. That's really the only reason I use it.
Yeah, well, Jesus, it's fucking cold where you are.
Yeah, goddamn, yeah.
You walk outside the door and you'll freeze.
You're not allowed outside, man. You will freeze.
But I've said it to a lot of people that have asked me about it, and I say honestly, if it is, stay the course and just save your few pound for an extra couple of weeks and go down I recommend the Visible Zone to everybody because that's what I use and I think they're awesome.
Yeah, they are good, man.
Yeah, they're unbelievable. You see the what I'm producing and what you have produced and what others have produced underneath them, and you see it all on the site.
I
On
was
Percy's
I was in the chat. I can't remember who it was, but they were running an IS board or an ISH board, and they were pulling something like 2.75 grams per watt.
Yeah, that
That's
was
incredible.
Nanook. That was.
Was that? Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
he
that
did
was.
I can't remember.
It-
Ish 175
14
in a 1 meter 10
grams.
or something.
Yeah, like 125 watt. Lightning's pulling up like a pound.
Yeah,
Jesus
crazy,
Christ, man.
crazy. Quality lights, just top of the range, man. It's the Spectrum, and they use the Samsung LEDs and the LED diodes, LMH 301s. Really, really fucking good, man. And
Oh,
so
the
so
box,
energy efficient as well. Compared to HID, you'll save like 40% on electricity.
Mm,
Yeah, good lights.
absolutely.
Quality. So let's move on then if we have no more questions. Ish crew, yes, Bob Hall. Right then, lads. Right then, are we ready? Are we ready?
No.
Prepare yourself.
No.
Proof or proof.
All right, let's do this, Mackie.
Okay, 1, 2, 3.
Let's do this right. Are you ready? Are you ready?
We got this, guys.
Right. Truth or spoof, everybody. A weekly occurrence. I give 3 statements, and the panel has to pick which one is the spoof. 2 will be true, 1 will be false. So we're going to start off with number 1, and I haven't told the panel yet, but this truth or spoof is Tommy Chong related. Here we go. Number 1. Tommy Chong was going to voice Shenzi, the talking hyena from The Lion King. Cheech Marin voiced the hyena Banzai in The Lion King, and Tommy Chong was going to voice Shenzi. Okay, that's number 1. Is that true or false? Number 2. Tommy Chong broke a record on Dancing with the Stars. Tommy Chong performed on Dancing with the Stars. He reached the semi-finals at age 76, making him the oldest person to ever make it that far. Okay, that's number 2. True or false? Number 3. Tommy Chong was the only person to go to prison because of Operation Pipe Dream. Tommy Chong was the only person of the 55 arrested during the US Drug Enforcement Administration's Operation Pipe Dreams to serve time in prison. Okay? So there we go.
Okay.
There's the 3 questions. Who wants to go first? Don't
I-
all jump it at once, lads. Come on, we all don't
I
want
will
to take it.
jump
turn.
in.
Uh-huh.
Go on,
I am
GB.
going to say number 2
Number
is
2.
is false.
Okay, GB's on number 2. Let me just write this down so I don't forget. Are you just you're not gonna like deliberate or anything? You're gonna try and discuss when you come up with your answer. Then?
I will deliberate because
You
I
have
know
60
he
seconds,
was
right?
meant. Yeah, he was meant to. I know they were meant to voice the 2 of them were meant to voice the characters, on The Lion King. I've read it, and the 3rd one, I can't remember what it is there now, but I know
You want me to put
that's
it back up
true
for you?
as well.
Put it back up.
Yeah, stick it back up.
Here's number 3 again. Tommy Chong was the only person to go to prison because of Operation Pipe.
That
Dream.
is true. I
Okay.
know that. I know that's for certain because while he was in prison, he met the Wolf of Wall Street.
But was he the
True,
only one
yeah.
out of 55?
He was the only one out of all of them. In 100%.
So
he was
okay,
the only one.
you're stuck with number 2 then, GB.
Yeah, I'm sticking with number 2.
Okay, ZN, you go next, man. You've been quiet, hiding in the background there. Come on.
I'm going to go with number 2 as well, actually, because it just sounds like a load of rubbish. Number 1, yeah, I'll vaguely have recollections of number 1 happening, and number 3, it just sounds like something that would happen to him because he's a stoner and it's one of those things. He's going to be the only person arrested out of like 59 people and sent to jail for this specific thing because of who he is, basically. So I'm going to go with number 2 as being a failure.
Okay.
Yeah.
TG?
I'll go next. Yeah, I also agree. It's number 2, and only for the reason, yeah, like number 1, I do know Whoopi Goldberg was Shenzi, so I maybe should get some extra points for that.
Nice.
Yeah, it was originally
Disney
supposed to be
films, are
that,
you there, TG?
and I didn't even Google that.
Okay.
And the 3rd
Favorite
one,
film.
I'm pretty, yeah, it is a good one. I'm pretty sure is also true. And the 2nd one, like, I can't say for sure because I've never watched Dancing with the Stars, but I feel like, 76 is pretty old, but there's pretty old people out there, I think, that've been on that show. So probably some older ones than that, I would guess. So yeah, I'm going to go with 2 to be false.
Okay, Monkey.
Well, okay, let's it could be number 2, but he set a record. It doesn't mean that that record still holds. So that's where I'm going with that one. It's possible that somebody else after him maybe broke that record. So I'm going to say no. I want to go for number 3. I know Tommy went to jail. There's no doubt about that. But I think if I remember that there may have been some extremely small minor sentences for some people, and I think I'm going to go for that one. Number 3. Number 1 is just I think that's too true. You have to just let that go. So yeah, I'm going to take number 3 as being the spoof. Maybe we'll stop Mackie from running it.
Okay, then what we're saying,
Be me.
Spartan in the chat is saying, I'm guessing number 1 is false, and we've got Noob Grower saying number 3.
Yeah. Well, see, Spartan's gonna yeah.
Okay.
You'll owe Spartan a win if you kill us.
Okay, we should really get a drum roll for this. Don't you think?
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
I
Number
can't
2
do that. I can't beatbox.
is false. Monkey,
Number 2.
you lose. You're the
Okay,
only
that's
one.
fine. I'm
I
good
thought
with
this
it.
was going to throw you off, man. I was buzzing. I was like, this can't get the bastards.
I
Clean
chance,
sweep
mate.
this one.
It's only because I spent nearly a week researching this,
And
man.
I thought that
have
when I
all of
was
this
when I was
in front
looking
of
at
me
this, I was like,
in my
gee, he's
diary.
gonna know this fucking Lion King one already, and he's gonna. But what I
No.
did is he did actually set records on Dancing with the Stars.
He did.
And
Yeah.
he's the
Right.
oldest
That's the finals.
celebrity to
Mhm.
reach
He kicked
the
ass in that show.
semi-finals. But there's been older people to reach the semi-finals,
Yeah,
but he's the oldest
yeah.
celebrity. So we just changed the word celebrity to person to make it,
Right.
Oh, you tweaked it.
The
You went
oldest
and tweaked.
person is like an 82-year-old lady who won Dancing with the
Yeah,
Stars.
yeah,
Apparently.
yeah.
I don't know. I don't
Yeah,
watch
I can
it. I
quite
don't even
believe
watch
that's the
TV.
case.
No, that's the problem. I don't follow it.
But I would have watched
Nor
it if
do
Tommy Chong
I
was on
didn't
it.
know
To be
research
fair. I
whatsoever.
didn't know it was on.
I haven't been
so.
on Google. Yeah.
was a
Still
while
kick
ago
your
now,
ass.
but
What
yeah.
was it you were saying
Still.
earlier on?
Shut up, Zian. Prick. Yeah, so there
Thank
you
you.
go, man. Let's go back to number 1. Yeah, number 1. Apparently, I've seen in a couple of places. They wanted Cheech and Chong, but Disney either pulled out and wanted a female to do it, or they just couldn't contact Tommy Chong to chose somebody else to do it instead. I think Whoopi Goldberg did a good job, man. I like that film.
Oh, yeah,
I like
he's a
them
great
hyenas,
character.
Yeah, it's a class.
I find
film.
it hard to believe that they couldn't contact Tommy Chong. So
Well,
Yeah.
we could get him. So I mean,
Yeah.
Right,
it
yeah,
seems
true.
like-
They
true.
obviously didn't
Lads,
try
you
very
don't
hard.
know how hard I had to work to get that fucking interview, man. What are you talking about?
Well, that is
you're
true.
saying
got an
so.
issue.
You're saying you're better than Disney.
Oh yeah, I
I
got
mean,
skills,
it
bro.
seemed-
I got skills.
Yeah. Mad
Tommy's
skills.
just such a personable guy.
All right, Disney. If you need a
And then
better
what was
better
the- what was
guy,
left,
contact. Reach out to Mackie. He's available.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's
You know, he'll get anybody for you.
And then
you get
Operation
a lion
Pipe
with a
Dream.
slight Brummy accent.
We'll try.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
What? That'll be a cool lion, a cool ass motherfucking lion. Should be a bull instead. All right.
Yeah.
So Tommy Chong was the only person to go to prison in Operation Pipe Dream out of 55
see,
people,
I knew it.
and he went to prison for selling bongs. Man, how
I
ridiculous!
thought some other people had gotten like really minor sentences that were like suspended or whatever, but I mean they were sentenced and then later, or is that where I went wrong?
Yeah, but, I don't know, man. I would have thought as well that somebody else would. I mean, out of 55 people,
That was pretty blatant, didn't it?
and yeah, and maybe it is because what he said about George Bush finding the weapons of mass destruction were only his bongs.
Exactly.
Maybe that is
Really?
the fucking real reason. That petty.
Yeah.
You can go do 9 months in prison over
So stupid.
off the
Over a
cuff.
bunch
Well,
of
they-
wrongs.
It's all
Bunch of
political,
wrongs.
right? And maybe they figure throwing in like his kids and other people that are not as big as him wouldn't really it would piss people off, I guess, more than it would make a point like they were trying to do, even though this pissed everyone off too.
Mm.
So
They
They
just
They
make
tried
an
to make a
example.
statement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
the shit show. But
His ideas on that $1 billion bong is fucking epic, isn't
You
it?
know. And the Zuckerberg.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the one I want to see. The
You
Zuckerbomb.
know, I want to see the Zuckerberg, man. Well, yeah,
Yeah.
great guy. That was a quality interview, man.
Yeah, so much fun.
So there we go, Truth
Yeah.
or Spoof, man. The scores are now ZN is in the lead with 3 correct so far, and he was asleep for one of them episodes.
It's true. Else he'd have got that one too.
Yeah, man.
How did he
Can I
manage
have a go
that?
at that one now while
I
we're
don't know. I mean, there's something.
You skipped the hard one, so
I'm gonna have to go
Oh, was
back
that
and
the hard
tally
one,
these
was
up. Make sure
That
I
was
It's
get
been
this
hard
all
for
right.
me, so I mean I've only got one right.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is. ZN should lose a point for default for missing an
Oh,
episode.
shut up.
Everybody agree?
Yeah.
I think
And,
so.
and I made all the shows, so I get his point.
Yeah,
Shut
that
up.
sounds fair too. That sounds fair. We're gonna give
No.
ZN 0 because he's
No.
got 3, and 1
No.
point to GB, 1 point to
No.
Monkey, and 1
You don't
point to
even
Vote
do
of the
that.
High Council.
Adjustment. Hey, come on. It's,
Don't be late
we're-
again,
Oh.
ZN.
We
I'm going to
voted.
mute you all in a
The
minute.
High
You'll be talking
Council
to
has
yourselves.
spoken.
Anyway, right.
Oh,
Let's move on to the
Anyway,
last little
indeed.
bit here. Oh, there's a new. I said last week that I wanted an intro for the Stoner quotes. Here it is.
Yeah, man, like I had a thing to do, you know, where you talk, man. When a cat talks, I got a thing to say, man. I was gonna say it, but I forgot it, man.
There's Tommy Chong off one of his what's the album called there? Monkey, you know what that is, right?
I don't remember what the album was, but it was just a really, really early Cheech and Chong album.
Acapulco
It was
Gold
before the-
outtakes.
Yeah, it was great. Man,
Super
that's the one
cool,
where
man.
Dave's not here was on. All that stuff.
Dave's
Everybody
not
knows
So
out
many
there.
Harry Palms, man. So many classics.
So there we go. That's TG. We got a quote from Tommy Chong this week, haven't we?
We absolutely do. It's probably the one that I think most people are most familiar with regarding cannabis, specifically with him. But he said, if more people were stoned, there would be less violence in the world, which is, I think, 100% true.
Yeah,
People need to
100%.
it's a healing
get a
herb.
little bit of perspective on things, and cannabis definitely helps with that. So
Yeah.
everybody just needs to toke and chill out for a bit, you know.
Bill
relax.
Hicks said it should be mandatory. Everybody should get up in the morning and take a weed pill before they go to work.
Sure.
Well, they can tune in here and smoke for 2 hours while they listen to us on Sunday.
You know what I mean? While they drive to work
All
in the
good.
traffic jam. It takes you 2
Yeah.
hours to get to work. This is perfect. You know?
There you go. Perfect.
Absolutely.
So,
Have your
great
wake and
show.
bake.
So waking back. Yeah, sorry, I didn't quite hear you there. I was just looking at the show notes because I keep show notes now, and I try and be a little bit more organized. You know. So there we go,
Well,
man.
that's
Is
great for you, but we can't see them.
that is high on
My show
homegrown
notes are just a bunch of
for this
hash,
week,
so-
episode 4, Up in Smoke with Tommy Chong. I hope you've enjoyed it, everybody, and thank you for joining us. Let me change the outro screen here. Oh, I don't want to do that. I nearly broke it then, bro. Right, so there's the outro. Yeah, thanks for joining us, everybody. You can download us on iTunes and Spotify, everywhere. You know, whatever platform you listen to podcasts on, you'll find us on there. So you'll be able to download the show in the future if you want to listen to this again. Of course, it'll be left up on YouTube as well. And I'm going to take the Tommy Chong interview out by itself and make that a video of its own, so you can listen to that again if you want to. So,
Sweet.
well,
I'm looking forward to listening back to that interview again myself.
Yeah.
you know, usually
door to bar.
editing interviews, it's hard work. You know, you got to keep going backwards and forwards. But I really enjoyed editing that interview. He's just such a cool guy to speak to. You know,
Yeah.
Very chill.
legend. So like the video, subscribe, share. You know, most importantly, share. We just want to get as many listeners in as possible and try and encourage people to grow their own and
Yeah.
just enjoy
Enjoy
smoking
the
cannabis.
quality.
You know,
Yeah.
that's what
Come
we
by
wanna
the
do.
forum, say hi. We're always there.
You know,
Yeah.
next
And,
week we've got Big Buddha, Milo Young, Big Buddha himself, who was the man who took cheese from cut in form only into the cheese seed. So pretty much the creator of cheese. Danny
Mr.
Danko spoke
Cheese
about him in
himself.
episode 3, where he
legend.
said that he won the Cannabis Cup with the cheese. That guy, man, he's gonna come on, absolute legend. Fucking, you know, one of my favorite breeders of all time. I love growing anything Big Buddha, quality.
Yeah.
Yeah, you grew out some epic big Buddha cheese there not so long ago.
Yeah, well, I've got some now, man. I've got some going now, so that's coming on nicely. And for the grow guides next week, we'll discuss nutrients. So we're going to discuss different kinds of nutrients from organics, and you know, should we use bottled nutrients, and what kind of bottled nutrients as well. So that's about it. So remember, thumbs
Good
up.
can of
Don't forget to
worms.
like the video, share with your friends, and the next show. Like after this, you can head over to Cheap Home Grow podcast over on the Cheap Home Grow channel and check out Shane's show as well if you haven't done that before. That's a pretty awesome
Yeah.
show. They get real complex with the growing stuff, man. So get your notebooks out. You'll enjoy it.
Spartan will be over there
Starts
to
in
answer
2
your
minutes.
questions.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Spartan will be over there. He'll be ready to answer any questions if you have any. And of course, sign up to Percy's Grow Room. Just do that.
And just
Nice.
drop by and say hi, guys.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
we're
Thanks
always
again,
around.
everybody. Here's the link. You just go there to sign up. Lovely.
Yeah.
Been a great show, everybody.
Thanks.
Massive pleasure.
Night
Thanks
all.
for tuning in.
Thank you for joining us.
Good.
Don't
Stay
be
safe,
sticky.
everyone.
Yeah, man. Keep growing.